Hello and welcome. For over 86 years, RV University has been one of Bengaluru's most respected names in education. Now, with RV University Mysuru, they're building an exciting new chapter for the future. Joining us today to talk about that journey is Professor Dwarika Uniyal, founding Prof, Vice Chancellor and Director of the Mysuru campus. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Uniyal. Very happy to have you on the show. The RV educational ecosystem has been around for 86 years. But for someone who is hearing about it for the first time, how would you describe your legacy, the RV journey, how it started and what the legacy is?
It's very interesting. Let me tell you a story about how RV was born. There was a Gandhian called Pandit Shivananda Sharma. He was a disciple of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya and a Gandhian by his affiliation and nature. He came to Bengaluru. He belonged to some village close to Bengaluru, and he wanted to get a job of a teacher in a local college. Unfortunately for them and fortunately for us, he was rejected by the local college. And he literally went door to door. He took a vow that he will set up a school. And finally, he got some benevolent set of people who gave him some money, some space. And because he was a nationalist, and it was pre-independence India, he set up Rashtriya Vidyalaya, small, one room, one teacher, 6 children school. Over a period of time, he got funded from local industrialists, people who had oil mills, people who were running jewelry shops, and slowly he set up a trust called Rashtriya Shikshana Samiti Trust. And that trust got more trustees coming from various walks of life. They were educationists, there were a set of people who were entrepreneurs, the industrialists of that time, politicians of that time, and slowly Rashtriya Shikshana Samiti Trust got some funds to expand beyond this school education. So sometime in 1954, they set up India's first, or Karnataka's first teachers training college, RV Teachers College in Jayanagar. Then they set up Karnataka's first girls' college called NMKRV Girls' College. Over a period of time, and then 1963, just 23 years of starting of RV Boys High School, they were ambitious enough to approach the government to grant them the permission to set up a private engineering college, one of the oldest in the private sector of 1963, where RV College of Engineering got set up. As we moved along, schools happened, PU colleges happened, technical training colleges happened, dental training colleges happened, allied health colleges happened. So we now run, after 86 years, 29 institutions. Out of them, 27 are in Bengaluru, and 2 are now being set up one is already there in Mysuru, which is a PU college, and now we're setting up RV University Mysuru. RV University Bengaluru, however, started in 2021. Before just COVID hit in 2019, the trust and the elders came together and said that we've been running colleges. And we've been running very successful colleges like Architecture College, Institute of Management, Dental College. But we have never thought about running a private university. And while many other private universities were set up in front of their eyes in Bengaluru in last 10 years, and they always resisted, saying that no, maybe the time is not right. But in 2019, the elders came together and thought about creating a large-scale, multi-faculty, interdisciplinary, liberal education university. And that's how in 2021, around COVID time, we were able to set up this university in Bengaluru. And I remember that we were just 15 faculty members. The Vice Chancellor at that time, me being the founding members of these institutions, a couple of deans. We got only 180 odd students in the first batch, and less than 15 faculty members. Honestly, the faculty meeting used to happen in Chaitapuri itself. But today, we have reached close to 9 schools in Bengaluru, across computer science, business, design, law, film and media, allied health, economics and public policy, school for continuing education, and so on and so forth. Today, we have got close to 6,000 plus odd students in our campus in RV University. While it took RV College of Engineering almost 60 years to reach a number of 7,000, we reached a number of 6,000 in
5 years.
In 5 years. So that's the kind of growth India is seeing. That is the kind of demand India has for higher education. It's a very, very underserved market. And as you know, as per NEP, only 28% is our gross enrollment ratio, GER, which means almost 72% of India
in higher
education has not been able to go to colleges and universities, which is an irony. So I think this is where the RV colleges journey, RV University's journey has been into this. And today, we are around 29 odd institutions. We have close to around 30,000+ students
under the umbrella. All right. So, Professor Uniyal, how do you carry 86 years of legacy and trust into a new city, into a new campus? And why, when you were already pretty young in Bangalore, why not build more here? Why Mysuru?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. See, there are two reasons why we've come to Mysuru. A, in Bangalore, we have reached our capacity, right? We would be soon 8,000 students. So infrastructure-wise, land-wise, and the kind of programs we would like to offer in Bangalore, we reached a kind of a peak there. Very early, it was supposed to be in 10 years, but in 3 years, we realized that we're reaching a peak very soon, and hence we started to think about expanding our footprint to areas where we feel comfortable. In 86 years, RV has never gone out of Bengaluru. The farthest we have gone was Kengeri, Mysore Road, where RV College of Engineering is. Most of the times, our institutions are very much in Basanagudi and Jayanagar and JP Nagar and the nearby areas. We were very much in the kind of a city, central city institution. That's why we were very well known there. And so from Mysore Road to Mysuru, we feel it's a continuum, right? It's close by. It is just 1.5 hours away by the expressway. I reach faster to my Bengaluru campus from Mysuru than I actually reach after Bengaluru campus to the city. It's like Bengaluru's infamous traffic. Secondly, it's a very heritage and an academic city. Bengaluru was not an academic city in the beginning. It happened in last 20, 25, 30 years. But Mysuru from the beginning, because of the Maharajas and the Vadiyar family and their openness, who also, helped set up Indian Institute of Science, and they were very, very, ahead of their times. So University of Mysuru existed almost 100 years legacy. And there are private colleges, there are government colleges. So Mysuru itself has been able to grow as an academic place, apart from the legacy place, the Maharajas place, the cultural city for so many years. And slowly IT has also started coming in. So there was a growth in Mysuru, but that growth will happen a lot more. So we felt that Bangalore's got saturation, both in terms of population, both in terms of tech, both in terms of educational institutions and so on and so forth. Where is the new growth levers will come from? And we felt Mysuru is poised because even government has now got huge budget for Mysuru to make it Mysuru 2.0 or a 3.0 to make it the second technology hub for Karnataka. And hence we are at the very right time to help them scale up. When technology happens, companies happen, startups happen, where would the human resource come from? The human resource has to be coming from institutions like ours. So this was the idea why we came here and create scale, essentially scale.
Great. So what does RD Mysuru currently look like? And what are you building towards the future? You said at about 6,000 to 8,000 students in Bangalore, you reached the tipping point. What's the plan for Mysuru, RD Mysuru?
10,000 students in next 5 to 8 years. A. Secondly, do programs which are not being offered in Bengaluru. Some common programs, some unique programs here. So we're setting up RVU Mysuru this year with 5 schools. School of Pharmacy, which is not there in Bangalore. School of Pure and Applied Sciences, which is not there in Bangalore, which is very much focused towards arts and science, towards sciences. School of Engineering. So while Bengaluru has only computer science, we are expanding into electronics and communications engineering, hopefully into AI and robotics over a period of time. We are opening up a school of management. While we do have a school of business in Bengaluru, here we would like to offer unique and different programs which we are not offering in Bengaluru. We are also looking at a school for psychology and behavioral sciences, because that has emerged out a very, very important aspect of today's modern generation. We need a lot more trained psychologists in our country, and the demand is a lot more than the supply. So we have looked at certain strategic areas where we would like to offer programs very much in alignment with what the industry has to offer in and around Mysuru. At the same time, take benefit of the big brother Bengaluru. We are just close by. Our students can do
internships.
Yep, the best of the both worlds, right? You don't have to live in a traffic infested city. This campus is a dream campus for us. We have never created such a large campus. It's a 42-acre campus. We're building 2 million square feet, a huge campus for almost 4,000 students, residential facilities, huge sports facilities. Some of these things we were unable to do to that level
in Bangalore,
that lavishly in Bangalore,
because of space constraints.
Space constraints.
All right. So 5 years from now, what do you want the people of Mysore to say about the impact of RV University on the city? And my ask is because you yourself have said that this city has had a long tradition of excellent educational institutions.
Right.
So when the sea is so big, what will your drop do for the people of Mysuru?
Both for people of Mysuru and as well as for the larger part of Karnataka. See, what has happened is the narrative of Karnataka has been hijacked by Bengaluru.
Yes.
Nobody talks about any other city. It's like Kolkata. West Bengal is too big. But any other capital city, unfortunately, ends up taking up too much of mind space, money,
investments,
everything. You know, when we were doing analysis, we realized that the top 10 cities in Karnataka, the 9 other cities combined population is less than the population of Bengaluru, right? Which means the migration has to happen from Bengaluru to these cities. Mangalore has emerged out as a good tech place. Mysuru should be the next one to do that. If you look at how impact gets created, it's a series of, we call it theory of change. We use it in a developmental world. It starts with input, activity, output, outcome, and impact. Now we see in 5 years, right now we are doing input. We're creating an academic ecosystem. We're building beautiful campuses, which is green, sustainable, more sports, more well-being, residential in nature, which we are unable to do that in Bengaluru in that level. What would be the activity? Which means in next 5 years, how my classes would run, what kind of programs we offer, how do we bring the industry, what kind of collaborations we will have, what kind of labs we'll set up, what kind of research we will do. There would be some output come out. After 3 years to 4 years, an output will come out in terms of my graduates getting jobs, my graduates starting up something and giving jobs. Research output will come up in terms of my faculty doing some innovative research which leads to certain patents, certain beautiful research papers, certain industry applications. But in 3 years or 4 years is a very small time for that. That's why only output. Another 2 to 4 or 5 years, an outcome will start coming in, that students who are going to work in industry will start making names for themselves. Like RV College of Engineering today, after 60 years, they are the CEOs, they are the entrepreneurs. There's a large population. They are academics. They are sports persons like Anil Kumble. They're creating huge impact in the field they have gone into, right? Or IS officers or IPS officers or even Indian Defense Forces. Those graduates have gone and now creating impact in the relative field. For us, that would be outcome of what they will end up doing in those institutions. After maybe 10 to 11 years, they will have some impact in the society. Positively disposed towards creating Mysuru as a beautiful hub. More jobs, more interesting investment will start flowing in because industry will start seeing this as an entrepreneurial pace. So I would rather want to say that just like in the US, a university town, university is at the hub of it, at the center of it, and everything else is around. Ecosystem, right? The spokes are there. So, for example, imagine in 10 years' time, I will have 10,000 students on campus. Now, on an average, each student, the kind of demographic we get, will be spending 10,000 to 12,000 rupees per month on Mysuru ecosystem. Cinemas, shopping, coffee, cafeterias, others, all that ecosystem they will start spending on. 10,000 multiplied by 10,000 multiplied by 30 multiplied by 12 is close to a couple of crores of contribution to the GDP of Mysuru itself to begin with. Because 10,000 is if you look at US, Indian students contribute $4.5 billion to US educational institutions. There are educational towns which are run only by Indian students because somebody is putting them hostels, somebody is giving them money, somebody is giving them something. All that is happening.
It's beyond the fee paid.
Correct. Beyond the fee paid.
Okay.
So look at that. Plus, when they start engaging, there would be some students from Mysuru, there would be some students from Coorg, some students from Kerala, some from other parts of Karnataka, some students from the other parts of the country. It's very important for us to
have a diverse,
to ensure that it doesn't become a regional institution. My dream for RVU Mysuru is to make it a global institution, just like Infosys is a global company, happens to be in Bangalore and Mysuru. So that is the dream, that okay, more collaborations with international institutions. Mysuru attracts huge amount of foreigners to learn yoga. It's a yoga capital of the country. Not many people know. It is not Rishikesh anymore, where I come from. It is Mysuru. I was surprised. Which means Mysuru is already there in the global map for people for certain things. Mysuru is emerging out as a cafe capital, like Bangalore is a brew capital, the pub capital of the India. Mysuru is emerging out as a cafe capital, coffee, Coorg. You see, there are very interesting dynamics which are happening in Mysuru. And our students would start working in different areas. Diverse. Somebody would be a filmmaker, somebody would be a designer, somebody would be an entrepreneur, somebody would be a scientist. They will start contributing when they go out and start working. And more importantly, it is very important for us to create that ecosystem in Mysuru, because I do not want these students to now migrate to Bangalore. They should be able to create it here. So that Bangalore people should be aspiring to come, saying that Mysuru is a good place, less traffic, beautiful place, lakes, palaces, more opportunities here, and shouldn't be a sleepy old, retirement town. Mysuru has to become young. And who will make it young? We will make it young. Students will make it young.
So we look forward to a very youthful Mysuru in the next few years.
Correct.
So what were the non-negotiables you had in your mind when you thought that we're going to make a new university? But when it comes to student experience, what is a non-negotiable for you when you were designing this university per se, thinking of the student experience?
So it's very critical. See, the top management, the trust, the secretary, the joint secretary, who are the chancellor and the pro-chancellor, and the vice chancellor in Bengaluru, and registrar, like 6-7 of us are the core team, which has envisioned and created the vision map for RVU Mysuru. Some of the things which were very, very clear about the fact that not a single day people will think that it's any shade lesser than what we are offering in Bengaluru.
Okay.
What is non-negotiable is the quality of education, quality of faculty, quality of pedagogy. Ideally should be a lot better, right? Or equivalent to what we are already offering in Bengaluru, which means it's not like, okay, second campus should be lower in mind space, right? It is no less. Second, student experience in terms of true student experience in sports, residential facilities, and mindfulness. Because a lot of times, I personally believe, because I've taught in many residential campuses, I believe that, real fun happens in college when classes end. Now imagine in a Bengaluru campus, in a city campus, where kids have to travel through a local or a metro to go another 1.5 hours from Patangere to Whitefield.
They're tired.
They get tired, they go home, they
out of
sleep, and then
ideas.
parents are asking them, what did you do in college? And they don't want to talk. And parents says, why is my son or a daughter not talking to me? They are not in a position to. Versus if you look at a residential campus, 4 o'clock, they're done. 5 o'clock, they're in the sports field. They're playing, they're swimming, they're doing pickleball, they're doing basketball, they're doing tennis, they're doing archery, shooting. All of that's being built in Mysuru. We're building hockey, we're building football, we're building cricket. So they should be playing, they should be enjoying, they should be, sweating it out in the gym.
What has that got to do with education?
No, that is education. Everything is education. We just make it very limited sense of what education is.
What is being imparted in the classroom?
In the classroom. If you really look at it, I would like you to see this as a triangle. The triangle of the knowing, doing, and the being triangle. The knowing part today is not necessary to be done only in the classroom. The kids are smarter than the professors. They can learn from anywhere. They can learn a lot more from a podcast than in a lecture. But what is happening in the class needs to be discussed, debated. Not everything which you are hearing is true. Question. You cogitate your mind. You solve a problem. The design thinking approach of education says you see a problem, you bring that problem in the class, try to bring a proof of concept, build something. Same approach which is being done in engineering education or design education has to be brought into management education. It has to be brought into other education. In the class, are we solving problems? I always believe that we should have something called a question wall. In Indian education system, we always try to find answers. But in AI generation today,
we memorize answers.
Correct. No, we find from the shortest possible way, memorize it and then take it in an exam. But if you see this, in the older wisdom of India, education, learning had 6 stages. Even the knowing had 6 stages. Shravan, Smaran, Manan, Chintan, Abhyas, Dhyam. Listening, memorizing, that's what school does, right? Thinking, reflection is not happening, which means you're around table, you're talking, thinking, asking, questioning. Then merely knowing will not help. Then the doing part. That's why modern education has to build skills. If you remember the Gurukul system, they were taught literature, they were taught sciences, they were taught philosophy, but they were also taught skills. You used to have something called 64 kalas, 64 kalaएं, मतलब Shri Krishna used to be parangat in 64 kala. तो धनुर भी आता है उनको और फ्लूट भी बजाना जानते हैं. You see, this is where skills would come in. The students need to know or should do visual and performing arts. Even they are science students. The right brain and the left brain.
Is this why you feel that sports and
residential
campus
is a learning itself beyond just the classroom side of the classroom? You're solving a problem, coming up with something, learning something, but where are you applying? After that, you need to go to the lab. After 6 o'clock, 6 to 12, you're working in a lab, for example, right? You're solving, you're creating something. Then only then you have a proof of concept you can take to an industry saying that I've built a model. Can you fund me in that? So all of this is very, very critical to build that in. And third, the mindfulness. Sports is a part of that mindfulness, the being part. How to deal with self. We're all students, kids, very protected environment. They never lived alone. They've never lived beyond parents feeding them everything. They, from one AC room to an AC classroom, this is what they've gotten into. Yeah. So this is extremely important.
That's very interesting that you have a focus on well-being, something that mental health and mental well-being is also being recognized. Now, this whole philosophy of knowing, being, doing, how does it translate into everyday life for a student at RV Mysuru campus?
See, it's very, very important. It's not about creating education through building buildings.
Teaching in classrooms.
Or teaching in classrooms.
Or acing the exams.
If I can take, the liberty of speaking a bit in Hindi, I have 2 lines which say, "Surkh concrete ki imarton mein gyan kasmas aata hai." सुर्ख कंक्रीट की इमारतों में ज्ञान कसमसाता है, विचारों को पनपने के लिए हरी घास खुली धूप चाहिए. So which is very important that we need to take the classroom outside the classroom. Classroom is not just a place where you just learn from a lecturer or a teacher to teach some concepts. It is important, it is critical to know the grammar. But just merely knowing the grammar and sentence formation will not make you a writer. There would be million books which says how to be successful. I'm yet to come across a book which says it is okay to fail. Most of the time you will fail. But then once you failed or not done or not succeeded in something, how do you get up and do something different? So that's why I think sports is very critical. That's why the knowing part, which is Shravan, Smaran, also needs to be thought through. So there are 6 stages: Shravan, Smaran, Manan, Chintan, Abhyas, and Dhyan. So merely a lecture will no longer help, and hence the pedagogy has to change. It's no longer teacher is saying students are making notes. No, you are solving a problem in the class. You're thinking about it. You're questioning the lecturer. You're questioning about, no, you have a different point of view from somebody else. You're trying to bring your own lived experiences or somebody else's through the case study method. Even the pedagogy has to change from a lecture to a lot more simulation based, lot more experiential based, lot more problem solving based rather than just a theory based. Second is, unless you practice. Same with sports. Merely thinking about sports or knowing about a sport will not make you a sports person, right? You have to practice it. So sports will make you practice, build that muscle memory. You don't learn driving or swimming by taking, theory lessons. You learn it by doing it, by crashing your car, by almost drowning in the pool and then coming out of it and saying that, okay, now I know how to do or not to do things. That's why the education needs to have and built in that skill component, the application component, the entrepreneurial component inside the classroom, rather than saying only after you pass out you create an enterprise. No, you should be doing it here. The 4 years is for you to build an enterprise or do a hustle or do a startup or do something different where you fail. So that after 4 years, your resume has a story. And that story, everybody has that same subject, right, in the resume? And you will have an extra bullet point which says, sir, I did a startup, I failed. Then the employer will say, tell us this story. And then you have a great story to tell, and they will get hired because of the story, not because the hygiene factor of what you studied or degree you have earned, because everybody else has had it. So that practice is very critical. The third, where you've said very rightly that institutions today have to be very mindful that we are getting new generation. This generation is digital first generation. This generation is very aware, very self-conscious. But at the same time, somewhere I get a feeling that this generation is, they have different motivation. I will not say they lack motivation, but they have different kinds of motivation. But somewhere it is not also not very happy generation. Our forefathers' generation used to be survival generation. Our generation became a more aspirational generation because we took benefit of India growing, India rising, 1991, reforms, and we really benefited. So we came from lower middle class backgrounds, struggled, hustled, taught ourselves hard, worked very hard, and became aspirational. These kids have already got everything, right? So what will they aspire for? Everything is taken, right? When you grew up, I'm sure I grew up, we never had AC in our homes.
So we had the drive.
Yeah, we are like, okay, my son keeps asking me, why do you own so many shoes? I have a fetish towards shoes. I have so many of them. I said, because A, I love shoes. B, second, I can afford them. And I aspire. I worked so hard to wear what I would want to. He will have just one pair and he's a minimalist. And I said, because you already have so much. So they would want to aspire for different things in life. And that's why we have to understand them. I would not want to pass judgments on them, but at the same time, I would want them to be happy, want them to be a lot more mindful, want them to be a lot more positive about the future. Because if you see the world around us,
it's all doomsday.
Yeah, you always say this is happening, that is happening. Internet feeds them and the algorithm works that more negative they see, more negative videos come out, and they get influenced a lot more by the negativity. And you look at, if you ask any kid today, what is the favorite color? Black. T-shirt, black. I would want to wear orange or something.
My daughter likes black.
Because everybody likes black. So there are more colors, right? The rainbow is more colors, right? So I think they need to be, so that's why I think the well-being part, the being part, where they need to learn how to develop resilience, self-awareness. Spirituality is very critical from the young age. Meditation is extremely critical. All of them need to be built in into the ecosystem as a habit, as a structured program, course. We have to initially force them to come and practice. Once they know it, learn it,
and they see
automatically they see a benefit to it, their positivity to their mind, more positive outlook towards life. I think, and that being part, and most importantly, how to not lose hope. And that's very critical for this generation.
Right. But Professor Uniyal, this whole discussion and, the give and take, you need somebody to bounce off your ideas off, and you need qualified teachers. So what was in your mindset when you thought about getting the right kind of faculty for RE Mysuru? Because first, it is not in a tier 1 city. Second,
Correct.
Finding good academicians in any case is difficult. People don't get into academia in our country.
Correct.
So how do you make the faculty happen and make all of these dreams possible for the students in RD Mysuru?
Good that you asked me this question, because only yesterday I had a 2-hour long talk and a meeting with my founding team. And there are 20 of them, both staff and faculty. And one of the bigger challenges today with everybody is the faculty is also young. Right? And so they need to try and understand that it is not a transaction. You come, deliver your course, you go home. Any startup institution requires a mindset which says, I own it up. And I can say this because very young in my life, when I was 27, I got an opportunity to set up SPGN in Dubai as a campus. And then I've done it 5 times. This is my 6th startup. So I know there's no glory in startup. I know it's very hard work. I know that you have to go beyond the call of the duty to do and manage things. And this does not just happen that you go to the class, you are best teacher, and that's it. Which means we have to systematically train our faculty to be mentors, not just the teachers. Teaching part happens in the classroom. Evaluation happens, training happens, everything is fine. But beyond that classroom, they should be accessible to the student. They should be trained how to be a mentor. Mentor, it does not mean you start giving jnana again. How to listen. How to train yourself to not pass judgment. How to train yourself to nudge student in the right direction. Which means the peer mentorship as well as the faculty mentorship is extremely critical. We are working on programs. We're tying up with certain very senior set of people. We're running mentorship program, training our faculty to be how to be a mentor. Not just a teacher.
All right.
Right. So this is something where they can come, feel free. And that's why you need to have physical spaces also. You need to have chai addas, coffee places, where faculty is sitting with those bouncing ideas. Sometimes, for example, the famous example of a faculty-student partnership is Google. Both Eric Schmidt and others, actually, Larry Page passed it on to Professor Motwani, Rajiv Motwani in Stanford, and he said, okay, yeah, and he was the first investor there. And that's very critical. Somebody should have a skin in the game. And I remember once I set up a cafe with my students, put my own money. I told my wife much later. And we ran the cafe very successfully in that campus. One of the campuses I helped set up. And that's why the faculty has to be a lot more positive, lot more willing to listen, and trained to also identify red flags. Now, this is extremely critical, so that a student, if they are suffering from, they are not trained psychologists or counselors, right? They need to nudge them in the right direction and ensure. So many of these are subtle nuances. And that's why when I'm hiring faculty, I'm not just hiring because they are from an IIT or an IIM from a top tier US university. I'm also looking at their empathy. I'm also looking at their overall attitude towards teaching, learning, and student welfare. That is critical for me. Student well-being is embedded in what we are trying to build. In fact, we are actually hiring somebody who would be the assistant dean for student well-being. I just did interview day before yesterday, and very senior person is coming who's been in the school system, college system, who's been doing this. It's extremely critical for us to build that.
So since you have set up educational institutions, colleges, over and over again, can you tell us what is the payback for somebody who is considering should I look at academia as a career option
Right.
at a high university level, a high education level? Because you cited the example of Google. So don't you get your payback in the success of your students too?
Not in monetary terms.
No, in the satisfaction term.
Yes, it is. See, we as teachers, I think there are three professions I feel: defense, medicine, and teaching. That we need to come with the right attitude, right mindset, and right reason to be. And most of us have entered this profession. I like to believe that somewhere we were taught by very beautiful teachers, and they happen to be our mentors for life. My own, English teacher taught me 40 years back, Mrs. Mahapatra. And not a single talk goes when I don't mention her. The kind of huge impact she has in my life, even today. So much so that when I wrote my second poetry book, it is dedicated to her. And a lot of people said, but you write poetry in Hindi, she is your English teacher. No, but she's the one who taught me how to express. Language was mine. And even today, she watches out for me. And if tomorrow she sees this podcast, she'll find 50 faults on where I was speaking, my language was not right, my grammar has a mistake, I stumbled about 2-3 sentences. She keeps looking at it so that she can improve me. This is teaching for life. One of my professors at Harvard, when I went for a program there, taught us two things. After every lesson, come back and ask yourself, would you sit in your own class and pay for it? So we need to be extremely honest towards our profession. Second, about how do we conduct ourselves? A teacher is not just a person who knows stuff, because students are very, very, impressionable. How do you conduct yourself inside the class, outside the class? Are you becoming a role model for them? The role models today needs to be teachers, not just Bollywood celebrities or influencers or comedy night people. Teachers need to be rock stars in their lives where they need to. So I think people need to see this as a profession which can create impact. You asked me about the impact. Yes, there is an input happening, there is an activity happening in the class, there is output which happens, which is a grade. But then the outcome happens much later. The impact after 25, 30 years, students reach out to me today. And I'm sure it happens with most of my colleagues in school as well as higher ed. And my family is into teaching. My sisters are professors. My wife is a teacher, They still get calls from students they would have taught 30 years back.
That's what I'm saying.
So that satisfaction of they reaching out, not just for professional advice, sometimes just to rant. Couple of days, somebody called up, Dwari. Hey, if they would, old ones, they still call me Dwari, right? They will not call me Dwari, sir. Do you have a minute? Yes. I just want to rant. So I actually have devised something called Zindagi Ka Listening Post. Teachers need to be the Zindagi Ka Listening Post, always available for the students if they want to reach out. Sometimes people say, sir, can I have lunch with you? I said, where are you? Sir, I am in Bombay. So I'm in Mysuru. No, I'm going to fly down. Sit with you, try to bounce off an idea with you, be a critique, don't say it's a great idea, and just goes off. That's it. There is no monetary payback to that, And this is where I think teaching as a profession is a very different profession than many others. It's no transactional relationship.
Especially if I will ask that to your English teacher, I'm sure she'll be smiling about the impact she has had 40 years from.
She puts up impossible, targets in front of me. One day she calls up saying that you did not do anything good in life. I said, subah, madam, what are you doing? No, तुम यूनिवर्सिटी का भी प्रेसिडेंट नहीं बना. मेरी मम्मी का स्टूडेंट इंडिया का प्रेसिडेंट बन गया है. What? I had no clue that her mother was the teacher of our president, Madam Draupadi Murmu.
Oh.
बताओ, इतना impossible मेरे लिए target रख रहा teacher. Imagine. but this is where the beauty comes out.
How is life at the RV Mysuru campus going to be different from a traditional university campus?
Interesting, be away from the hustle of Bengaluru, which also means that there are positives and the negatives. The positive side is the fact that, you can't run away to Bengaluru every single day, hop, skip and jump. But at the same time, this also gives you a lot of time to do other things, which means a campus has to be very, very vibrant campus. It's our job to ensure that campus has a lot of clubs, a lot of activities, a lot of theater, a lot of music, a lot of dance, a lot of poetry, a lot of visual and performing arts, a lot of other cultural activities. All of that has to be extremely important for us, and that ecosystem has to be built by us.
So I'm sure you're going to be building all of this. And if I have all this, why will I go anywhere else? So what are students who study at RV tell you about their own experience? What are their feedback?
So I've got an experience of 5 years of RVU Bengaluru, and then I keep interacting with a lot of RV alumni from other institutions. And one of the things they actually always talk about, that academics was tough, which should be. Like RV College of Engineering will say, sir, it feels like a school classroom, which other engineering colleges might not feel like. But then it helps them create rigor. So everything all said and done, the rigor needs to be there in academic. We should not water it down, dilute it, irrespective of what is happening and all of that, theatrics and all of that. A, very important. B, I think we are a very open society, and it comes from the trust. Trust believes that its academic institution need to be secular, politically agnostic. C, it needs to be open for all to experiment.
And express.
And C, and this is something I found in RV a lot more, in terms of openness to collaborate. Like when I first joined RV institution, I did not know this place much, except the fact that a couple of my former students
had
passed out from RV, right? And when I started to engage with other RV institutions, they were so welcoming. There are heads of the institutions, they would reach out to me because of my background in management education and others for advice. They didn't need to. Or some other institutions would call up and saying that we would like to collaborate, even though your institution is just 1 year old or a 2 year old. We would like to help. RV College of Engineering, because with them we shared the campus, opened all their doors, all their hearts to all their labs, all their ecosystem, alumni. They didn't have to, right? Because they are two different institutions. And there was no pressure from the top to do that, but they felt that this is our institution. So we believe as an RV ecosystem that it's the power of one RV. Today we run schools. So a lot of my teachers from RV College of Engineering to RV University to other institutions actually go to those schools and teach and mentor school students. Very critical. Like today we've got a beautiful, I think last year, a team from RV College of Architecture, Computer Science of RV University and RV College of Engineering actually won a couple of hackathons. So across institution, kids are coming together, partnering with each other, which means that ecosystem is not available to everybody. Today, I can partner with a nursing college, I can partner with a physiotherapy college, I can partner with an architecture college, which is open to me, which is not there in many other universities in that sense. I might be having 9 schools here, but I have access to 15 more, which means as a one RV ecosystem, I've got 24 institutions which can come together, work together, participate with each other, both in terms of faculty, research, student experiences. Like a lot of our design students used to go to RV College of Architecture and utilize their labs and interact and engage, and beautiful experiences. So such experiences, I believe, that is shaped the RV students' exposure to life.
What are the kind of students that thrive at RV, and how do you build a community? Because it's also young, especially in Mysore.
Correct. So this is what we experimented with Bengaluru. We wanted to pick up interesting outliers. So we didn't just pick up students who got great grades in PU and marks and all that. Yeah, they are also, of course, coming in and they're welcome. But we also wanted to see if somebody has different interesting ideas. Somebody is a musician. Somebody is a filmmaker. Like, for example, the best filmmaker in RV is actually not coming from the film school, which is young. It's coming from my business school. He's struggling to pass from the business school, but but he's made some interesting Kannada movies. And he took electives from the film school, learned from and used their equipment and made beautiful films. And so it is the cross section of what we said in terms of openness to learn from each other. And this is where in true interdisciplinarity we have been brought in, because every RV student, especially in RV University, takes a minor from other schools. So a design school student who's studying in product design takes up a minor from business school. A business school student takes up a minor in design school. A computer science student takes up a minor in psychology. A liberal arts student takes up a minor in law school. So it's a beautiful interdisciplinarity which is being brought in, which means you're learning with other students, because in minor, you got kids from all other disciplines and not from the same discipline. Secondly, you build projects with them, you work with them, you start respecting each other, because otherwise, you're siloed in the classrooms, and unless there is a interaction or unless you have a common enemy, you'll not fight, Yeah. So I think this is where it helps. So RV students feel that this helps them. This interdisciplinarity and fluid movement helps them.
But is this something which is unique to RV? Because the NEP also talks about this. So is it because you're incorporating from there, or is this something you're doing much for you?
Because we were lucky that when NEP came out, we was just starting.
Okay.
And NEP as a beautiful intent document gives us direction to create that interdisciplinarity. So from the beginning itself, we made our curriculum. The deans sat together and said it will be difficult logistically to do this, but we have to do that. So we are doing the same in Mysuru.
Okay.
Over a period of time, we will start offering minors from the Bengaluru campus here.
Okay.
We are also building systems. Vice Chancellor and I having a discussion on this, that can I send my Mysuru students to Bengaluru for an immersion? Can I bring my Bengaluru student for a sports extravaganza?
And what if they don't want to leave Mysuru then?
Oh, yeah. So hopefully over a period of time, we should be having, we always say, student exchanges with other universities. We sat together saying that why shouldn't we do it from our own universities? Because these are very distinctive uniqueness both the institutions bring together. I think this is where we're trying to build it.
Right. So you spoke of the NEP and how, it timed itself very well with coming up to university. Now, new universities or universities per se are trying to incorporate AI into the way of things, teaching and otherwise. So what is RV doing about this? Are you making a conscious effort into incorporating this to be, the university of the future?
Very much.
How?
Very much. See, it's all started with a concept paper one of the former deans of the computer science school came up with. And that time, most of us were looking at AI as a nuisance. We were afraid of it, especially many other disciplines which depend on a lot of writing, a lot of thinking, were afraid that students will start copying and ChatGPT and all those things. But we realized that AI is a tool and we need to co-opt it in the learning, which means faculty has to become, trained in AI. Students have to be trained to use AI to solve problems rather than submitting assignments, which means all my pedagogy, my evaluation, the question papers, my submission, everything needs to be completely rethought. How AI can solve and help me solve a problem, how AI can help me build a product, how AI can help me come up with a new startup, how AI can help me become a better lawyer, how AI can help me become a better filmmaker, how AI can help me become a better consultant or a marketing executive in a large digital firm. So they need to be on the top of it. Yet at the same time, there is ethics in AI. There is ethics in plagiarism. There is ethics in many things which we do in an institution which needs to be watertight. So we have, told our students, we have an AI policy, plagiarism policy. We have training our students that this is not acceptable if you start submitting AI
Topic stuff.
generated
I think
thing.
it's happening in school also.
Yeah. So all that, for example, in computer science, they're very clear that, okay, you can submit it, but also submit your prompts.
Yes.
So I will
cite your sources too.
correct. No, prompts also. So I will judge you based on your prompts, how important the prompt is. And I go back to my Shravan Smaran Manan Chintan, because Indian education system for far too long has not focused on questions. That's why I was saying we need to create a wall of questions. Ability to think critically, ability to ask questions, not finding answers. AI will help you find answers. But are you asking right questions? And that is where
you'll be assessed as well.
Yes. So this is where I feel that we have a long way to go. So far, India is still, we've just got one LLM called Sarvam. We're still using many others from the foreign places. India has to start building
for India.
For AI for India, AI in multiple languages, AI in different, not just the LLMs, but a lot of tech-led AI, which is helping them solve medical problems, application problems. Like I run a pharmacy college here. I'm running a college of allied health and professions in Bengaluru. We have that. Many of those are sitting at the cusp of AI revolution, where a lot of things can be solved quickly. Using applications.
AI.
Yeah. Applications. It's not just about writing a good novel using AI.
Yeah. Professor Uniyal, at the beginning you were talking about, you gave the numbers about the access, etc. Now, I want to understand from you, where does value sit in entire RB Mysuru campus, and what are the kind of scholarships you're offering at RB Mysuru?
See, we are a private charitable trust for public cause, which means from the beginning, the value system is very, very clear that we would like to provide good quality education, a career roadmap, and good citizenship to our graduates. It's extremely, so graduate outcomes, everything is being built in making a good global corporate citizenship, which means honesty, hard work, trust, and respect. It flows from the top. It flows from how management works with us, how the RB Trust functions and gives autonomy to the institutions, to the individuals like me and the Vice Chancellor and others, which also gets decentralized to how, as me as Pro Vice Chancellor or Vice Chancellor in Bengaluru campus, decentralizes and gives that autonomy to our faculty, to our deans. Same then gets translated to the faculty and the students in the classroom. And that is something which is extremely important for us as an institution, not just one institution as RV Mysuru or RVU Bengaluru, but across 29 institutions. Very, very clear. Hard work, focus towards, careers, focus towards good citizenship, good value system, and respect is extremely critical for us. Which also means that we would like to bring bright young people who might sometimes not be able to afford our education, but can we handpick them? Can we get them from diverse institution, schools? So we are not an elite institution, only go to select schools and do that. We are an access institution, which means we are providing scholarship for sports. We're providing scholarship which are academically bright students through their class 12th marks and JEE scores and NEET scores and others. We're providing 100% scholarship to people who have represented India or represented state in any of the national sports. Even their tuition and stay is free. All they have to pay is for food. We're building a hockey team, we're building a football team, we're building an archery team. All of this in Mysuru, we're already doing in Bengaluru. So academic scholarships, sports scholarship, and cultural scholarship. Somebody who's been very good in music, somebody who's very good in dance, have reached a level of national importance. We would like to bring them to our campus and give them all facilities to ensure that they are taken care of. So some of these are built in. Our scholarship pool is large. We would like to build it more. We are very lucky that we've got a lot of trustees and philanthropic contribution comes from them. They would like to give that, encourage it in the name of their forefathers and others. So we're building that ecosystem. Hopefully in 10 years, I will start getting scholarships in the name of alumni. They will start giving back to me. And that's how institutions grow. When alumni starts giving back, it's already happening in RVC. Alumni started to give back. Maybe RV University another 10 years.
What do you think will be RV University's biggest impact? One area.
I think technology. We are a tech-first university, which means even though we have programs in design and programs in law and programs in liberal arts, heart and heart of it, we are a technology-first university with a social consciousness, a technology-first university which is building graduates who are very comfortable, even though they don't happen to be engineers, but everything what they would build or work on will have a tech stack around it. So I would say it's a liberal education tech first global university.
Right. What has been the most rewarding part of this journey so far?
It's been 30 years for me working, 27 years in academia, 5 years with RV. And if I reflect back, I realized that I was very fortunate and lucky being the founding member of RV University to be given a lot of responsibilities of different kinds. I set up the university initially with Vice Chancellor, the first Vice Chancellor. And when he left, the trust gave me the responsibility to be the interim Vice Chancellor for a year, which means I managed the whole university. They also gave me an opportunity to set up Minerva, which is RV Center for Leadership and Executive Education. And now they've entrusted me to set up RVU Mysuru. In a 5-time, you would laugh at it, but this office of mine is the 9th office. And by July, I will shift to my 10th office. I had close to 10 designations, and this is not, this is rare. So as a personally, I feel very blessed. I feel very fortunate that my elders, my seniors in the trust, trusted me to look at something. I'm very, very fortunate that we have a very, very strong team under the leadership of our current Vice Chancellor, Professor Kakani, who comes from an IIM background. And he and I have known each other for 25 years. So we trust each other. He trusts me. I respect him a lot. Same goes with my deans, same goes with my registrar and the team I'm building here. So I think it is mutual trust and collegiality. And so they're providing all support to me as a younger sibling. What RVC did to us when we were building up RVU Bengaluru. Now RVU Bengaluru is returning that trust and helping us build the RVU Mysuru. So I think it just passes on. That's part of the culture.
Right. So in ending, anything, would you like to leave us with a line that truly encapsulates the essence of RV University?
2 lines, if you permit. I think what we say that dream big. We tell them that we're building a university for the future. We're saying that as RV motto, which is across institutions, that we would want our graduates to go and change the world. But even before we go and change the world, we have to dream, right? And we need to give wings to those dreams. So as I said, 2 lines in between in Hindi, I will end with again 2 lines because I'm a poet. कि सपनों को उड़ने के लिए हवाई जहाज का टिकट नहीं लगता. सपनों को उड़ने के लिए हवाई जहाज का टिकट नहीं लगता, बस पलकों को उम्मीदों के पंख चाहिए. The wings of hope which is being given to us, we would like to pass on to our students. Why? Because ख्याल पकाने के चूल्हे कम नहीं. We all have great ideas, our students have great ideas, but we need teachers, mentors, facilitators, industry.
आग में फूंक
Correct, exactly. So ख्याल पकाने के चूल्हे कम नहीं, नई सोच के कोयलों को एक चिंगारी चाहिए. So I think that flame has to come, and it has come to Mysuru, and we hope that we are able to bring change, a very positive change, to the people of Mysuru, to the students of Mysuru, to the industry of Mysuru, so that tomorrow RV University becomes the hub of activity which Mysuru will be proud of in years to come.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Uniyal, and sharing with us your thoughts, what you want for students at RV University Mysuru. Here's wishing you and your entire team at RV Mysuru University all the very best for what lies ahead in the future.
Absolute pleasure, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.